Hey guys, can you guys hear me? All right. I never know whether it's the microphone that makes it loud or it's just my voice that makes it loud. Keep on missing my password. You guys let me know if you guys know better than me what my password is. You guys all know where you are here? Alcoholics Anonymous. Talking about the next presenter. No, we're talking about publishing your own apps. Guys, let me just jump into this. Welcome to BocaJS. I'm Damian Montero. I'm going to be one of your co-organizers. We have the other one, Jeremy, over there. He presented last month, same topic. No, just kidding. We had a little problem last minute in the last month that I couldn't take it, so my great presenter over here helped me out with that. So let me see. I'll fix this if it doesn't stop working. You guys are, whoa. You guys are Sendines. This location is amazing. You can present here on your own group or for your own event simply by talking to Amanda. In the back, you see a bowl. If you guys want, you guys can put your business cards in there. And if not that many people put in there, hey, don't take out other people's cards. You win a month worth of co-working space right there to try what it's like to working by yourself, instead of by yourself, in a co-working space in there. I work in there on the back desk. You guys can talk to me. You guys can network with other people that are in the industry. And we have one of the last month's winner right there. And so, yeah, so we have proof that this actually works. So definitely put your business cards in there. Amanda will take care of it for you guys. If you guys are looking for an office, they have large offices, but I would say kind of move quickly. She has one office in there. I don't think it lasted more than maybe 4 days. Okay? So if you want a real office, contact her right away. Don't just drop the card and hope that someone contacts you. All right. We don't have any drink tickets to. Why? Because we've lost our sponsor. Our amazing sponsor, Italians, actually got bought by Stephen Douglas. So the moment that they get bought, well, they start cutting off the sponsorship, and we're going to get another sponsor. Don't worry about the pizzas and drinks. You guys seem to be able to buy your own. Congratulations. Thank you guys. Glad you guys have jobs, and it worked very well. So, but we will take care of you guys next month. Okay. All right, just a reminder one more time. Damian Montero. Guys, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I usually record these events. And this one might be one that you want to record. I'll be giving you guys all the code. By the way, thank you, Coding Commander, for coming here. We will not be doing a professional coding seminar like she does on her YouTube channel, but we have our own YouTube channel, nowhere near the number of subscribers she has. But you want to check it out? Go to videos.bocajs.org. If you go to like youtube.com/bocajs, it's some person out there that hasn't posted for a while, so once YouTube lets me, if I can, you guys all help me flag them as some kind of racist or something, we'll figure it out. We'll get rid of that channel and we'll take it over. So, but if you go to videos.bocajs.org, this event will be there right now. So you can watch me while you can watch me. Or you can watch any one of the other events, including FLA.net and the Palm Beach Tech events. So videos.bocajs.org. This is going to be, I thought the idea was, I was interested in publishing to the cloud. Wanted to show you guys all the different places, but I thought, no, you guys want to hear about Node, maybe that's what you want to hear. So like most of these events, it's interactive, right? So as you can see, and this is what's happening right now, there's only one of us moving, only one of us talking. I do have a microphone. At any moment during this talk, because it's going to go back and forth between things I will assume you guys know and things that either I'm, what might make a mistake or something, speak up. I don't mind being told that I'm doing something wrong. That will help everybody else. And I don't mind asking questions regardless of how stupid the questions are. Trust me, I'll take care of the stupid questions for you. All right. It is me. You can find me on Twitter. By the way, some of most of the things you guys could do afterwards when you get home to get all the software, you'll be seeing me using all the CLI tools and all that will be on the Meetup website. Oh, at the very bottom, you can see that slides.bocajs.org. Seriously, guys, seriously. How many other Meetup groups do you go to that's this professional? Slides.bocajs.org. Not even the Palm Beach one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So slides.bocajs.org has these slides. You'll notice I'll even skip ahead. There'll be some slides with some notes on it that you guys will see exactly what's going on. So I will describe it, but you'll be able to do it. Also, I'll be doing a Node application from scratch, but you can download the code right now. In fact, depending on how we feel and how you guys are feeling about it, I'll do the same. I'll actually clone this app, and then we'll talk about the app, Node. We'll talk about what Node does ahead of the app. But if you go to my GitHub page, github.com/thedamian, I realized BocaJS has its own GitHub page. I just realized I should have put it there. Okay. github.com/thedamian/basic node. If you clone that repo, you'll be able to see exactly the code that's going on there. By the way, is this too loud? Is this okay? I guess I was asking you guys in the bottom. All right. What? Huh? All right. I don't know if people want to know this stuff or they care about this stuff, or if I don't explain this stuff, you'd be like, Node, what is that? All right. History. 2009, it was Linux only. It was the answer to, we love JavaScript on the browser. Who doesn't? Why don't we have it on the server? And since Google already had a compiler that could be capable of it, there was a way to put it together. So in 2009, at the NGConf, I think it was, there was a presentation, and the name escapes me. He created Node, yay. He created what I think, the same team created what I think is the most important thing of Node that you should know about. So if you learn nothing out of this, learn this, NPN. Now you guys might know, NPN means Node Package Manager. Package management might be something that you're comfortable with, but to me, that was the revolutionary thing. Node's amazing, Node's incredible, but even if you never touch JavaScript on the back end, you've done NPN. Even if with your Pythons and with your Ruby and all this, it's probably something in NPM. I mean, Grunt is installed by NPN. All these things work with NPN. And we'll talk a little bit about it together. It wasn't until about 2012 that had Windows support, and somewhere in between had Mac support. So again, let's reiterate, Node, JavaScript to the back end. We'll learn about it, we'll learn what it can do, we'll do some examples about it, and here's where you guys can ask me questions if you guys have any questions, or if you don't, no problem. NPM, this is revolution. Tools that you need, as in, you'll see almost all the software I'll be using to push to the cloud is from NPN. I did NPM install, and you'll see it out there. So it also is like NuGet, like Yarn, like some of the other places, a way to get libraries that, let's not reinvent the wheel, will do it for you. But I think most people use it as tools. Wow. Any questions? Okay. I jumped right into it. I guess I didn't. I don't know how hard it is to see, but if you guys can see this and you have a computer in front of you or a website, go to that GitHub repo that I told you about, GitHub/thedamian, as in the Damian that's talking right now, the Damian that's talking up here. And you'll see the basic app. And if you look at the app.js, it looks like this. And I mean, what I wanted to do is I didn't want to go too much into detail because I want to do a lot of the cloud stuff and show you guys this, and a lot of the questions will be up there. But let's get to the basics. All right. So we have some things. Have you guys seen, anybody not seen the require up there? The first line says var. Everybody knows that. We can talk about let and const, but var, we're going to do a variable, and then we're going to do require. Everybody know what that is? Everybody not know what that is? This is how we import from another library that we already have in there. And one of the libraries that is kind of built into Node without you installing it, it's HTTP. And it has all the HTTP interactions. And what I'm going to show you here, I guess I should have started with that. I'm going to show you text where I load nothing of what you have heard perhaps Node needs to do the web. You may have heard Express, all these type of solutions. You don't need them. Node has them. But let me get this out of the way. This is something that's kind of important. Node is the core language. It's not, I know it's JavaScript, but Node has no, unlike other languages perhaps like Ruby, it has no intelligence other than its basics, the basics of JavaScript and all that. So everything is built upon that. So an MVC framework, model view control of a web, will be built upon that. Any kind of interaction with the file system will be upon that. Similar to how C++ can't just, you could do everything, but you're probably using libraries to get those achieved. Same thing with C#. Ruby's different. Well, Rails is what makes Ruby this sort of organism that has all these things or these tentacles already. But Node doesn't. So these things are loaded on there. So, all right. So let's look at the lines and let's see what's going on in here. The first line says create server. That's part of the HTTP library. The create server has a function and it will reply back when it is requested, when someone hits the website. And we'll talk about the website at the very bottom. You don't need to know this, but it answers with a normal 200, which is an HTTP request. And it returns the HTML that you have in there, that you see at the very bottom, and it starts the server. So it's doing the promise, essentially, the definition of what's going on in the middle, and then we talk about the actual port that it's listening over here. So the server doesn't really start until this point, and as you can see, it starts on server port 5000. If I told you guys that if I ran this and I opened up in localhost :5000 on my browser, you guys can understand what's going on in there, right? So what we're getting is we're going to get a reply back that's a valid website. So the browser is going to be, it's fine, and it's going to be the HTML you see there on the 4th line down. So just wanted to point out that Node, in its basics, is JavaScript. There's no DOM, so it's dumb JavaScript, so there's no website, and that throws some people off. So just be aware of that. You're not in the browser anymore, you're in the back end, so that's throwing some people off, let me know. And most of the time, what you're doing with Node is doing things with web servers or perhaps a back-end server that's doing something on a timely basis or a particular app that's doing something. So Node does this. I don't know if I'm going too much into details. Getting back to my GitHub repo that we talked about over there at the very bottom, if you can't see it, it's the same one we talked about before. It looks very similar, and we're adding sort of a middleware. So Express isn't what hits the web, it isn't what replies to the web, it's the middleware, the juicy parts, what adds the MVC, adds the intelligence, and in this method, in these lines that you can download right now, you have a full web server. So if you copy and paste that, and we'll run it, and we'll look at it over here on our local computer, you'll see that I get a host, and I get more than just what we saw earlier, which is a dumb web server that can do one thing. No matter what you do to it, it replies back with a single HTML page, no CSS, no intelligence, no nothing. These lines are different. I have a full web server in here. I can support any website you give me. And in fact, what I'll do is we'll download this, we'll look at it, ask any questions if you want, and then what I'll do is I'll change this so not only can it answer any website, can pick up any image, can pick up any text, pick up any CSS in that directory, but also we'll add a little bit of post, some information. We'll control one of the directories that I can there. Okay? Any questions before I go? People are going live. The paths were excellent. So if you guys go to Spaces Guest, we are in Sendine, but it's Spaces Guest, and it is co-working, the username. So just join Spaces, you'll get a pop-up website where you go to co-working for the username. Co-working, C-O-W-O-R-K-I-N-G. English is my third language, so I don't know if I got that right. I don't. I don't. And the password is cowork0601. Not Sendine. Ah, perfect. Wonderful. So you guys pass, thank you. Pass that card around if you guys don't see it. Thank you for that. All right. Notes. You guys don't need to see the notes. I always do this every single time I present. I want you guys to know this. Did I have it here? No, I don't. Okay. I have a problem with people thinking that development happens on only one platform, that development happens only on one computer. So on purpose, I don't use the computers, any of the computers that's in front of you guys. Not because I need to use mine, but because you can use any of them. So for you who are in Windows, all this works in Windows. Those of you who are Mac, all this works in Mac. Those of you that are on Linux, all this works on Linux. Those of you who are on Android, well, no, it doesn't work on there, sorry. But I'm on a Chromebook, and I'll be able to do exactly what we're talking about here. So as you guys can see, I'll get this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to a particular directory. Whoa! Let's make it simple. So if you guys want to follow along, I'm going to do the same thing as I talked about. I'm going to go to the GitHub page. The Damian/basic node. Okay? So at the very top, you see github.com/thedamian/basic node. I'm going to click over here on the right-hand side on the clone, copy that URL, and git clone what we talked about. This is hopefully not new to most of you guys. I'm essentially copying the code. And if I list, I have a directory called basic node. And if I refresh my page, there's my basic node application. Okay, so my application that we're going to be using, that we're going to learn about, has a couple of things. You know what? Let's go into those things. This is a normal node application. And what does it mean to be a normal application? It has a couple of things. It has the application itself. It has what is the intelligence, the backend server. In this case, I'm calling it app.js. App.js is the file that you guys saw a minute ago, and we'll look at it again in the future. But you guys can see it yourself. I have, in this case, in this situation, only for my purposes, an index.html page. Because of how I'm doing this application, I want to show you guys a web page right away when you go to the root of the directory. I have a couple of directory called node modules. If you guys are aware of what this is, don't listen to this part, but if you're not, whenever you install these libraries, these things for your project, for you to utilize, they will go in there. So if you've ever done npm I, if npm sounds familiar, it's gone into this directory called node modules. Packet.json, a very important file, even though most of you guys, even if you're just starting, especially if you're starting, pardon me, will ignore. Packet.json defines what the application will be. And in fact, a lot of these clouds require a couple of extra information that a regular application won't have. So when you go and you install this from scratch, you'll notice that my package.json has a couple of things, including, for example, I have to check if that's true, the version of Node. This is important when we push to the cloud. Any questions? Let's find out. We lost our connection. Oh, no, we didn't. I have a couple of things. I have the version of the application that where it goes at the top. That's right, exactly. You want me to use bone wings? Let's see. Hello. It's a very important question and absolutely right. I wanted you guys to get up and running as quickly as possible, so I put it in there. But absolutely, you want to make sure your non-modules don't come in there. There's several reasons for that. Your environment may be different than the server environment, may be different than your fellow programmer's environment. So it's important to be in there. How are these synchronized? By the package.json file. Absolutely great question. All right, so I'll continue this way, and then one of the next things you can do is, this is important for the cloud providers. I'm going to go ahead and go to our BocaJS.org. wouldn't go too much into it. Can you, hello, hello? So let me see if we can record this. No, the whole thing was not recorded, unfortunately. This one allows you to truly run your application live on a server without ever worrying about the fact that you can't have it go down. And if it goes down, notice how I said that? Never should it go down. But if it does, it should reboot itself. And if it does constantly, it should notify you. And it should be different for different applications, and there should be different versions and all that. This PM2 will help you with that. So I'll leave it at that, unless there's a lot of questions about that. So, questions, guys? As an extrovert, you don't know this, mister, but as an extrovert, you know what I'm supposed to do after I do that? Whenever I stop talking, I'm supposed to count to 20. Do you know how hard it is for an extrovert to do that? I think everybody has their favorites. I do have my favorite. It is Azure, but there's different reasons for that. I find them easy. The database service is called Database, not Red Pink Flamingo like it is on AWS. They may have renamed it by now. So that's just me. But, you know, AWS runs the world. Heroku is amazing. Some of the ones I wanted to show you guys, which I totally forgot about mentioning them, all run on top of AWS. You know, but if it's not Google, if it's not AWS or Azure, it doesn't exist. I mean, you know, everybody that's like, I go for Apple because it's not like the others. Well, Apple runs on Azure. At least it used to. And if it doesn't, it probably not runs on AWS. They run the world. So whichever one you choose works great. I've heard tremendous things about Google Cloud. Now, it could be because no one's using it, but it is incredibly fast, like beyond belief fast. And if you guys look into Firebase, which I was going to do if we had enough time, they have some amazing services and just an amazing set of videos that will tell you how to do absolutely everything you can think about. So, thank you, guys. Do you have a question? Thank you. No, that's it. You guys have, tell me what it is that you guys are looking to see. What are you guys? What do you want to hear about? I'm sorry. It all depends on the different applications. So what database do we use it? It depends on the platform. So AWS, that would be a Heroku. If you were in Heroku, those are the ones you would use. With AWS, with Google Clouds, with Azure, they have their own database services. If you want to use a third-party database services like Mongo World or whatever it is, that's a big one, they all are sitting on these servers. So, I mean, you know, if you're an AWS and Atlas and all these different ones are, well, Atlas is a service from Mongo? Or is it from Azure doing Mongo? Well, whatever the case may be, all of them live on these cloud providers. So definitely the next option is figuring out what you want as far as databases, but also that goes into a whole litany of things. Like, for example, what do you want for push notifications? What do you want? All these services, and they're all in everywhere. Heroku is very good at letting you know, like, here, we have all these things. We have MongoDB, we have Postgres, we have all these things ready, but so does Azure, so does AWS. They all have these services there available. And any of them are valid, including cross-platform. Sometimes, you know, I'm pretty sure in the NAT of Americas, the large building right across from Bayfront, which hosts everything to do with connecting us to South America, has probably AWS and Azure servers in there. So, I don't believe that I think there is no right answer. So I don't know if you meant like Mongo versus Postgres versus MySQL. Is that what you mean, or you meant? So.
Operating system. No, I'm good.
Sure. I don't have a preference. What I'm telling you, what I would say is nowadays, what's the world's changing to is that we have to think less and less. I have no clue which versions of the Linux. You guys, unless you guys had a keen eye, don't know which version of Linux each one of those push went to. They all went to Linux. All the ones that you saw an example on, they all went to a Linux. Even the Azure one, but they didn't. We don't know which version of that. So it's being obfuscated. I know which version of Node, and that's only because of the fact that there are certain things I want from Node 8 that I don't have from Node 4 and things like that. Eventually, I think it will not matter, and eventually we'll just want a document database, which is what Mongo is, as opposed to a SQL, and you'll just simply choose that kind of topology, I guess, that kind of a service. You want to go MongoDB style, document DB is what it is. So therefore, you're going to choose this, and it's called this on Azure, it's called that on AWS, it's called this, and it doesn't matter because at the very end, they're super fast and they're going to return things in the Mongo style. So you know, on your local box, it's literally MongoDB, but on Azure, it's called Document DB, and well, that's the international version. That's their newest version of it. They replaced it? Oh, okay. I thought that was their like ultra redundancy all over the world kind of thing and all that, which is, these things are moving into the future so that we as developers have to do less and less thinking about what technology. We just kind of, you know, with ORMs, we just say, I want the list of users and their family members so that I can, you know, rig the election. Sorry, that was political. That's, you know, so, you know, just, you want the data, and then you will eventually obfuscate where it comes from and all that. I don't have an answer for you, but yeah, I with most of the work I do, we have our own servers. So it is MongoDB, right? And it's the actual MongoDB software running on a server that we maintain, all that. And I think that's going to be eliminated. I think that's going to go away, and it's going to be more of these third-party options, like with Azure's CosmoDB, with the we were using something with, like, for example, AWS has a version of Postgres that's super fast, super redundant, and they have their own name. It's like Alice or something like that, and we were using it the last project. So there we had chosen SQL relational database model, so we chose whatever the SQL relational model option was for the fact that we were in AWS, right? And then the next time we were in Azure, we chose the SQL, if we wanted SQL, on on Azure and things like that. So, did I answer your question? The answer is, you know, sure. It depends. Yes, indeed. Yes. You know, with some lady's name. I'm not good with ladies' names. So, yes. Perfect. Wonderful. It does not. The code in the example code is very, very basic, so it will not affect anything like that. So, absolutely. So I have several projects that I cannot move out of for because, well, just because of developer. What's it called? Developer. Let's go when it's developer debt. I can't spare the time to correct the issues that the breaking issues that Node 6, I think it was the time, because I think they skipped 5, brought. So we still run that server in 4.0. And correct. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. Yes, sir. Visual Studio loves Node. Is that what you mean? Absolutely. So there are a million things. Visual Studio has all these things built in. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So Visual Studio, as in not Visual Studio Code, but Visual Studio itself, the full 2018, whatever, has both Git already set up, and it would work here perfectly fine. You can create a brand new project in Node. I think it has those templates. It's already using Node type of applications. When you're doing your .NET Core, it's using Grunt, and it's using all these things these linters that are actually sitting on Node side. So it's already very much into it. Can you do anything at AWS? Yes, but you would probably have to do a lot of the CLI tools I have there. So you wouldn't push with the what is it called on Visual Studio, like the whole Git repo kind of not but TFS, that area, that section of Visual Studio that has all the TFS, Git, all the things in that area. What's it? Team services? Yeah, maybe that whole pane. Yes, I think it's what's called that. Yes. Perfect. Absolutely, in all the environments, including Heroku. Yes. Yes. They all support. The problem with .NET Core is they support. They usually, I don't know if they support 2.0 yet. What is 2.1? What's .NET Core is at? 2.01. Okay. 2.0. I don't know if they know. Like they were kind of behind a lot of things. Azure was behind a lot of things, so they kept on supporting 1.1 for a long time. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Node, most of them, yes, they can. They have no problems with it. Visual Studio deals with Node very well. I've done a lot of applications. It deals with JavaScript very well, and it has no problems at all. So, and pushing to all this, and if it's just Git. The whole pane to do with repo and software and all that, I forget what the pane's called, that whole area. But that deals with Azure and in this case Heroku just fine. And if not, you go down the command line or you do some grunt scripts that will do that, right? Where you can just print something and just release them, right? Guys, reach out to me and let me know what it is that you guys want to hear about. Reach out to me and let me know what it is you liked or you didn't like about this event. Yes, sir.
I would like to see a Docker file and then to build the Docker file and then push out a Docker image.
Okay. That could be that excites me very much. Docker, so that he might see the Docker be installed. So Docker's amazing. Docker and a lot of these things, including now, that Now service accepts a Docker image, and AWS has the Elastic Container. Azure has their own. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, and that is an amazing thing to do. It sounds good. That's something that might be interesting. Who's interested in Docker? Okay, we get a good turnout with that. Okay, that sounds good. Design patterns. Design patterns. I don't want to hear design patterns. I mean, the next interview, and I'm going to hear them, and it's like, oh, no, I don't want to hear them. I would love to have someone present on design patterns. Perhaps someone who's going to be at the UX Dev Summit giving a workshop on design patterns. And is that what you're talking about? You guys know about that? At the US Dev Summit, so what happened? It changed a little bit, but let's talk about that. US Dev. So you say the UX Dev Summit still is an amazing event. It's happening, I think, next week, right? Sure. And now there are workshops beyond belief, and there are incredible workshops, including Jeremy's. It's on the first day. He's not the only one giving workshops, so definitely check it out. Wow, I think I know why Azure was taking so long to publish. Wow. I think these guys need to rebuild their website. So they have some amazing events, amazing speakers. A lot of things, not everything is related to JavaScript and Node and React. So definitely check it out. They still have tickets. I think today was the last day that they had a discount, but I'm sure you can find discounts at different places. Contact the organizers. One of them used to be Mike, the one of the co-organizers of this event. So definitely reach out to him. And this is the one I suggest. Oh, it doesn't even have its own webpage. Tell them that makes sense. You're going to go there? You're going to present? Okay. All right. That's what the next year's waiting for. All right. Okay, perfect. That we already know. We already have the next year's schedule started already. So check it out, guys. It's UX Dev Summit. This year it's Jeremy. Next year, it's you. And guys, if that's it, we'll see you next month. See you guys.